Hi, y'all. This is Lachey. I'm here with No Flow, No Grow. One of my heart's desire for this whole journey, for the books that I have created, is to create a community with heart moms and warriors, recognizing that we are all in this and we are not alone. So today I have my first heart mom, and she's going to be telling us about her little heart warrior. This is Sevena Brown. It is such an honor to have you here. So, would you go ahead, introduce yourself, tell us about you and your little warrior?
Hi, my name is Sevena. From a very small town, of course, it's Sulphur Springs. Um, I was was found out back in November of 2012 that I was going to have a baby. Then the journey of pregnancy was adventure. January 19th of 2013, I had went in for just to get the anatomy if I was going to have a boy or girl. God blessed me with a beautiful little boy. They had noticed that he had a heart murmur. His heart didn't sound normal. So they couldn't really diagnose his heart condition then. So they went ahead and sent me to a specialist, actually out of Austin, Texas, because at the time I was living in New Braunfels. I went to go see a specialist at 22 weeks pregnancy. Fantastic doctor. They were awesome. They were able to look at Caden's heart. Caden was in the best position in my belly because where he was at, they're able to look over, doing sonogram. And that's when they noticed, okay, he's got some heart conditions here. We sat down afterwards. They said, okay, this is his diagnosis. And since then, it's been an adventure. I was able to catch it in time to get myself prepared emotionally and spiritually as well, because I knew this was going to be a challenge for me and really for my son. So now we're here, 11 years old, doing fantastic.
Good. Oh, do you remember your initial reaction when you found out when they said heart murmur? Like, what was your initial reaction?
I was a little worried. I really was by, with my looks, with my family being around. They said, "Are you okay?" I'm like, this is big. This is
This is
something
something
for being
for
my
me.
first child. Yeah. I was scared. I was really worried. But more, I was like, okay, well, let's see what's going to be the next step because the world of medicine has grown throughout the years. So I had
Oh,
a lot of faith with my doctors, with everybody that was leading me to the right direction, with my family, having the big support. So it might have been scared, but I had the big support that I needed.
oh. Did that kind of change your process? You said you were in New Braunfels. So, did this diagnosis, like, were you planning on raising your child down in the Austin area? Did everything like change with the diagnosis on that?
Yeah, it did. I needed to be pointed to the right directions when it comes to doctors. I wasn't really comfortable being in the south part of Texas. Don't get me wrong, the doctors down there were fantastic. My OB was amazing. I loved her. But she says, you need somebody that's a high risk OBGYN. So I was like, all right, so let's find me a doctor up in the DFW area. Then I was led to Children's Hospital. I wasn't really comfortable there because it's just being children's. Then the next hospital was Medical City Children's Hospital. What really caught me was that I could have my son there and still be there with him. Because the only problems that I had with hospitals were that there were some hospitals I wasn't allowed to be in with him, especially if he was going to be in NICU. But with the congenital heart surgery unit, I was very blessed because once I had him, I spent 4 days. I went down to the heart unit. I was with him all the way. So I was very blessed. I was pointed to the right direction to Medical City. And plus, I was pointed to the right direction with the cardiologist. Great team. I'm very blessed.
Well, I can definitely see I mean, this was in 2012 was when he was diagnosed,
2013.
2013. Um, 2012 is when you found out you were pregnant, but like
Mhm.
the advances that have already happened in 12 years of where we're at today, that because I know there are several programs down south that they're just growing head over heel. And I think that's one good point that you're making out, like as a heart mom or just as any mom, you make these lists of things. Was all of your support here in the Dallas Fort Worth area? Because I know that's a good little drive for us to go to Austin.
Yeah, my support was all there. Down. My mom was, she was in New Braunfels. My dad was up in Sulphur Springs. But I told him, like, look, I'm moving back up because my son is going to need the best care, and I have to do what I got to do as a parent.
Yeah, exactly. What was the hardest part about receiving and trying to understand his diagnosis for you?
I think it was really a lot to take in, but to be real, I was excited to know the knowledge of how his heart was going to function because we look at a normal heart, everything looks normal, everything is great. But when we look at Caden's condition, it's like, well, how did it come to be this way? Why is it doing this direction? Why is there a hole over here?
Mhm.
So learning a lot about his heart condition was actually it was very knowledgeable for me. And not to mention, I had my mom who was in the medical field. So she sat down with me explaining me what how the heart function and how his heart looks right here. And I was like, okay, well, Caden's gonna have some challenges, but you know what? Like we're in the best care. I had no concerns by all means, but learning a lot about his heart and his condition, that was a lot. And it's a mouthful when I tell everybody about his diagnosis.
Right, right. Okay, I want to go ahead and I want to let you explain his heart defect. So that way I'm sure there is other moms that have this. So let me pull up the screen and let you talk about Caden's heart. Um, we are going to go ahead and just take this to the presentation. All right, so here's Caden's heart. Is it coming up for you on your end?
It should be coming.
Did
Yeah.
it do that?
No, okay, good. Oh, there it is.
Let me see if it'll pull it up again. Hmm. Have this in another way. I'm just going to exit out of this one really quick. All right, go ahead. You can talk about it right here.
So this is what my son's condition looks like for his congenital heart defect. He's got tricuspid valve atresia. I'm gonna have Lachey step in on this too right now and just explain because there's still a lot that I'm working on when it comes to his heart. So he's got the tricuspid valve atresia, which means it's the Lachey explained the tricuspid valve atresia. Explain that. See
Sure.
where your knowledge on it.
So there are four gates in the heart. So this right here, I don't know, is my mouse pointing to it? This
Yep.
right here is the first valve that we have in our heart, and it divides the right chambers and the right atrium and the right ventricle. And then right here is your pulmonary valve, and it actually will be the gate that leads to the main pulmonary artery. When blood returns from the lungs, this is the left upper atrium. There is another valve that's right behind the aorta, and that is called the mitral valve. And then this is the left ventricle. The fourth gate is the aortic valve, and this is the gate that leads out the aorta that goes out the whole body. And where she's talking about, he has mitral tricuspid valve atresia, is the gate right here between the right atrium and the right ventricle. That there was atretic, so there was like no blood flow that was happening through that valve. Or very limited blood flow. And just like in our name, no flow, no grow, is there's no blood flow through a valve, then there's going to be no growth on the other side, which leads to go ahead to the next part.
Then we got the hypoplastic right ventricle, where it means that the right ventricle is a deletion there. It has grown just a tad bit, or it's just not there. So, in other words, Caden just has one pumping ventricle. In his world, we are called him single ventricles because he just has one ventricle. And the good news is that that left ventricle of his looks amazing. It's working, it's functioning very well. There's no issues. He's got a thick wall around his left ventricle. So we are keeping his left ventricle nice and healthy. Then now we go down to the atrial septal defect. If you want to point where the atrial is for me, thank
Right
you.
here.
Yep. So Kata's got a hole right there. It's an atrial septal defect. It's this is where I had a concern a while back. Caden's O2 stats have dropped a little bit. And we
Mhm.
were looking at it, which would what it would be the atrial and ventricle. However, we were more concerned about the ventricle septal defect. However, atrial septal defect is not really concerned. It is a little hole, but again, it's working for him. Now we go down to the ventricle septal defect where he's got another hole
Mhm.
right there, and we had kept that open for a while because it was working. It was helping to an extent. However, again, his O2s have dropped. So when that happens, it's he's getting tired. He gets purplish blue around his nose and his lips and his fingers. He's not energetic. So when we look at that, that hole is still there. But good news is that that ventricle septal defect is not a concern at this time. He's still able to be a typical 11-year-old and have a little bit of energy. Then
Good,
we
good.
have the patent ductus atrius. Now, Lachey, can you explain this one to me?
Sure.
Because this one I'm still looking on as well too.
So this is his patent ductus arteriosus. This is something that is a part of our fetal circulation. This allows blood to bypass our lungs when we're inside mommy's tummy. That allows our lungs to still get the blood flow that it needs, even though they're not working yet. They're not inhaling, exhaling. And so the PDA is actually open right here. But with Caden, he no longer, they actually, let's see if I can draw an X on that. Oops. I don't know if it'll let me. But when he was born in his first surgery, this right here was cut. And it's called a ligation. It was a cut, a removal of it. And he actually had a shunt that was connected from right here to here. And there was a BT shunt that he had when his first heart surgery. And so the BT shunt and the PDA ligation happened in his first stage surgery. Does that make
It was
sense?
really good that he had that. Yeah, it was really good that he had that because that was very beneficial for him. If I remember correctly, too, we had given him a certain type of medication to keep it going because it was helping for a while to where we can just delay surgery. But we end
Right.
up having to go in on a Friday to do the surgery instead of a Monday because I remember that one. So he was
Okay.
first case that Friday morning.
Okay. Um, was there a pivotal moment in Caden's journey that your perspective about heart surgery and everything changed? Like something you didn't know that you were like, oh, wow, this is something I wasn't aware
I was aware of heart conditions. Well, given the fact of my dad having heart disease, but that's completely different when we're talking about congenital defects. So when I learned about a lot, I learned about congenital heart defects as well as throughout the years because I actually had a classmate who had a heart condition. So that was very knowledgeable for me to understand. A classmate of mine went through heart surgery. So then my son was born. My son was getting prepared for surgery. Now I know what I'm prepared for. Now I know what I'm ready for. I,
of.
despite what I was really worried, I was scared. But again, I had an amazing team behind me all the way at Medical City. I had no concerns at all. Yeah, I was a worried mama for his first heart surgery. I
Yeah.
think I was crying for like 6 straight hours.
Were you? Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Um, what would be your piece of advice that you would give a mom who just received news? What was something that you wish, as a new diagnosis, you wish another mom had said to you?
Have the more support from other heart moms because I was new at this. And when I was given the option, going to Medical City, I didn't really get to meet a lot of the heart moms until I we were put in Medical City, we were put in the hospital. So if you when parents, even moms, like if they go out there and they start going on these Facebooks and start following these other moms that are going through the same situations we are, reach out to them because having that big support, a heart support, that really helps out. It really does. Because in the beginning, I didn't really have that. I had my family, I had my lovely nurses, I had everybody there, but I wish I had more of that support from different heart parents. But now I do because throughout the years I actually looked into it. I had gotten involved with groups out of the DFW area throughout the United States because I was that mom. I want to know more about other heart conditions, about their other kiddos and how they're doing.
Right. Incredible. Finding your voice as an advocate. Was there a difference in the first admission and his second admission? Oh, hold up. How many surgeries has he had already?
We've had three.
Three. Three heart
Yes.
surgeries. Did he have any other surgeries besides the heart surgeries?
He's had two heart caths, and that's
Two
it.
heart caths. Okay. Okay. So yeah, what was the difference in the first admission and the second admission and having your voice and finding your voice?
The first one was really hard, but the second one was a breeze. Like I was able to because I have a better understanding of it. I actually got involved with, talking to nurses and, other doctors and stuff. And it's just really, I've been really going out there telling people. I had mom come up to me like, "Oh, I see that your son's doing good." Like, yeah, like you're getting ready to have a baby, aren't you? She goes, "Yeah." I was like, "Do me a biggest favor. Go get a fetal check because go get a cardiology check on your baby because you never know." We figured this out at 22 weeks pregnancy. So it's still there. It's still you can catch it. If bless God, if we don't have that, none of the childs are born with that. I'd be blessed for any mom doesn't have to go through what we went through. But for any mom that's getting ready to have a baby that's gonna have a heart condition, like we're prepared. We're here to help them out. And with Caden's case, I'm a voice for him because a lot of people didn't know he had a heart condition. He acts like this normal 11-year-old, and they're like, I was like, oh, dude, he's right. He's rocking a single ventricle. So
Right.
when they know
Right.
that, they're like, whoa, really? I was like, yeah, like he's great. He's doing wonderful. There's still little concerns here and there, but most time I have a healthy little boy. I'm very, very, very happy.
Good. How has your faith been impacted?
Oh, my goodness, I love this part. So my faith, I feel like I was tested in a way, in a really good way by God, because when I was pregnant with him and we were getting ready to have him and have his surgery, all I kept thinking was like, I know God's doing this for a reason. He's
Mhm.
doing this because something is going to happen. Something is going to change throughout the years with me. And he's giving me this kid, they're giving me my son that's going to keep me busy, kind of keep me knowing what unconditional love is. Just my faith was tested, and I have to say, like I am blessed, and despite what how people would think and everything, I'm blessed with an amazing little boy who can rock a heart condition, and who is so sweet and so kind and loving, and I'm happy.
Yeah.
I'm a very happy, blessed woman because I was worried. I was worried about my child, but I didn't question what God was going to do, why God was doing this. I was like, all right, God, it's in your hands. I'm going to let you do it because I trust you. I have faith in you, and I know you're going to do what's best. So, yeah, my faith was, I'll tell you right now, I didn't have faith at one point, but when he gave me Caden, my love for God
Changed.
shot right off the ceiling. I was very happy with it.
So before Caden, your faith.
I was going through of course I was dealing with broken hearts as well
Mhm.
just from my broken heart. But this is what I needed. Caden filled my heart up. Like he mended my heart in a way, even though God mended my heart, but God gave me somebody that's gonna show me what unconditional love is and care about me and see me and just accept me as his mother. And I'm I'm very, very happy because if I didn't have my son, and I always tell people this, my son's my saving grace because I was going through a rough patch, and when I found out I was pregnant, I knew this was meant for a reason.
Yeah. Did you have any scripture that you leaned on that gave you strength in the first surgery, second surgery, third?
There is one, and
Okay.
I believe I shared it with you, but I have this one saved, and the reason is because it not just what I personally went through, but also for my child. It's in the book of Psalms 147:3. He heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds. I love that because when I look at Caden, despite with his surgeries and stuff, God has healed him. And he has
Hmm.
healed me because he gave me Caden.
Yeah.
That's how I see it. So he's healed my wounds because he gave me my child, and I'm very blessed.
Yes. Yes. Um, what is something that has surprised you the most in your relationship with God? And through this journey, this heart journey?
Not to give up,
Not
not
to
to
give
give
up.
up hope, not to give up faith. Just keep
Mhm.
loving him, trust him, have faith in him. It's just it's what I really needed. I've
Yes.
I've went through a lot. I've lost both my parents, and to this day I know my love for God is still there. I have no angers, no quarrel, nothing. He did these things for a reason, and that's why he gave me my son, because I knew there was going to be something changing in my life drastically. And he knew what Caden, that's what I needed, was Caden.
Did you have moments of being angry at God? I know I've struggled with that. So it's like he's God. He's got big enough shoulders to handle it. Like if you're
Yeah,
mad.
yeah. And that's the one thing with him. I say, I have my conversation with him. I'll go, really? Are we really going to do that today? Okay, fine.
Right,
Let
right.
I'll let you do it. We'll do it. That's fine. That's your choice. I just roll with it because that's what he wants me to do. He has directed my life now. I'm not doing anymore. I try to control my life in some ways, but when he gave me Caden, yeah, I don't have no control of my life anymore. I just let him do it.
Yeah, yeah. I know. I kind of think of Dr. Phil on that. Dr. Phil, like people that come on their show and they give
Yeah.
all this list of all the issues, and he's like, "Well, how's that working for you?" And
Uh,
it's like, honestly, when we are in control and trying to control the situation and how things are going to happen. I mean, but for me, I never thought I would be in the medical field. I didn't think that I would be where I'm at right now. I thought I would be like a young mom, have my kids early in life. I didn't have them until I was late in my 30s. And so, like, all the plans I had for my life were completely altered. And I remember, like, in my mid 20s, like, oh, I'm not in control of this. Like, I have to
yeah.
give over the reins. But still, even taking more time because did I learn right away? No, but he didn't give up on me. He kept, he still, he comes after us. He comes after our hearts. He wants our hearts, but we have to be willing to give it to him. Um, what would you say to the mom in the ICU right now who feels scared and who feels so alone right now? If she was sitting in front of you, you have the mic, tell her what you want to tell her.
God is in control. Have faith in him. He's there in the room with y'all. He's watching over your baby. It's going to be fine. Just pray hard, love hard. It's going to work out the way it is. And it's like I tell any of the mothers that I've talked to in the past, you're in good hands. You are going to be fine. Your child is going to be fine.
Mhm. Yeah. Um, we're going to be coming back and we want to talk a little bit more. And we're going to have her back on and bring up a few more parts of this journey. I'm going to give you another chance. What would be another thing that you would tell the parents in walking this journey? Um, what's this is one that I love seeing when it's posted. Like your emergency bag. What if you have to pack a bag in 5 minutes? What is it you're packing in 5 minutes to get out the door to go to the hospital?
His medical stuff, an outfit, like change of clothes for him, change of clothes for me, his medical book or the medical iPad that I have set up now, all the contacts that I need to get in touch with the hospital and his doctors, um, all of our toiletries. I already have them packed up and everything. As a heart mom, I'll tell you this right now: when you get in the groove and things starts happening, you have already bags set to the side because I'm that mother.
Yeah,
I already have a
exactly.
bag set to the side and I've had it. Normally, I'll change it up throughout the years and stuff. Like if he gets older, I'll just start changing things. If things get expired, I'll say, okay, I need to change this out, put this back in. I just took one tote bag, just put some necessities in it, and I set it to the side. When that time comes, I'm prepared. I grab it and I'm out the door.
Okay. Sounds good. I've got about a few more minutes. So, um, we are going to come back. I want to talk with her. She has an interesting part of her story, and this is going to be our next episode of being a single mom and doing this on your own. I mean, it's very much I think it can relate to a lot of moms out there that it doesn't matter your situation that you're in, but you do have a husband. He might not be here in the physical sense, but your heavenly husband, he definitely has been guiding you through this journey. And so we're going to talk about singlehood or single mom. And the other one I was wanting to talk about is just grief and how you've gone through some grief during your heart journey with Caden. And hopefully that can give hope and encouragement to some of these other moms and dads. Do you have anything else you want to say before we break off on this session?
Any moms that are right now in spending time in a heart unit or ICU, love on your nurses because it takes right now, not only they're there for us, they're there for our babies. Just love on them, just be grateful of them, just be blessed with them, just chit chat with them because they're in there almost every day and they're there to take care of our babies. So definitely love on them, show the support for them because they go through it too with us. So absolutely.
Yeah, they do. As a nurse, we don't. They always say, like, don't take your work home. And I've talked to plenty of nurses, and I don't know if any of us have found a way not to take them home.
Yeah.
Like when we know we're going to have that assignment and have it for a 3-day stint, like my mind didn't shut off. I was already thinking about my next day on what am I going to do my next day? How can we incorporate some of the normalcy things like tummy time and mom and dad getting to hold their baby and mom and dad getting to feed their baby. So like, it never just shuts off. So I don't know how people do that or say that they can do that, but do they really? Because I mean, it's like, oh, I was thinking about you last night before I went to bed. Like, we need to do this today. So it's definitely like we don't stop. We don't stop.
No.
So, all right. So tune in for the next episode and we will be talking to y'all soon.
Yeah.